Alright guys, what's up? Casual K Kyle. Today, we got to look at a cool little RDA. This is the AEOLUS RDA. Now, the AEOLUS RDA is probably one of the coolest addies I've had in a good minute, and I've kind of stopped reviewing some drippers because they're just drippers, and they got the side airflow, and they go up, and they do the same thing, and there's cool little decks that you can do different stuff with. And that's it. That's it. And some of them have horrible flavor, some of them have way too much airflow, and that's freaking it. And this one has awesome airflow, because the airflow comes through on the top. And that's it. Like some other devices, they have the top flow option and the side flow option, and that just makes the flavor just go away. This one, I've got the top cap ring right here, and you can see those holes. This just sits down on here. Oh god, this is difficult. And it just sits down, and those go right on top of your coils. These little 3 circles on each side. And you can actually adjust those down using this little top ring right here. But we'll get into that in a minute. This thing vapes pretty good. The deck is easy to use, and it doesn't leak. It doesn't, also, one more thing, it doesn't spit up super often because the air is pushing down before it's going up. So it's not forcing the juice up and getting splatter everywhere. I'm not going to say it's never going to spit up on you, because it definitely has when I've over dripped like crazy on it. When I've made a little pond at the bottom with my wicks, that spits up. But that would spit up like gnarly and leak everywhere with a normal RDA. This one's not going to leak everywhere. It's just going to spit up at you. So, pros on that, be my guest. You can't use a chuff on this because the top cap is what you see is what you get. And you just put a drip tip on top of here. And when you take this off, you go ahead, put a chuff on there. Where's your airflow? It's gone. So, I don't know if they're going to make a different design at one point. I don't see the purpose of it, because this thing is a really good flavor machine while also having like pretty decent airflow. And it chucks pretty good clouds. It's not like anything, oh, the clouds aren't that good and the flavor's good, but the clouds, no. The thing is a great middle of the road addy, and I've been using the absolute crap out of this. When I'm going to take a dripper somewhere, like I need to take a dripper or I want to use a dripper, I'm pretty much grabbing this, or I'm grabbing my Kennedy, because those are, in my opinion, these are the top 2 drippers out there. Not going to go into with tanks, but as far as drippers, I think the Kennedy with the bottom airflow and the AEOLUS with the top airflow just give me the best flavor and the best satisfaction, and they blow pretty good clouds. As you can see right there. Clouds, it works like any other dripper you've seen. Go in focus, go in focus. It works like every other dripper you've ever seen. You can put whatever drip tip you want on this, and the top ring to adjust your airflow comes off. You can clean it if you want, and yeah. Let's get up close to see some cool stuff with this build deck. Shall we? We shall. Alright, so here we got the AEOLUS RDA, all in pieces, minus the screws being out of the deck. This is pretty much all the pieces you're going to get out of it. And what I didn't even show while we were up there is it actually does come with this extra adapter to have bottom heatsink fins. That's what those are called. And yeah, there's actually some other uses that I'm going to go over in a second here. Well, let's get into the RDA first, and I'm going to have a little bonus thing with this thing. If you have an AEOLUS, you can actually use this for other stuff, for a really cool thing that I really want to show you guys. But, as you can see with the deck here, I do have cotton in it, but it's a pretty normal deck. The negatives are, it's a 3-post dripper. Negatives are milled into the deck, and the center post is just chilling there, and it goes down to the bottom. Got a copper pin down there, gives you your serial number of 2938 synthetic cloud logo, and the pin sticks out plenty. If you can see that, let me go to the other side. Sticks out plenty, so you can actually use this on a hybrid pretty good. And if you put this guy on here, it'll stick out your pin even further. If you want to be extra safe, that pin will go out super far. So yeah, that's that. So we got that part on there. The next part is just your barrel piece, and it's just got a little indent right here to fit through the deck flush while also having a stopper and not keep going through. And that's it. There's no airflow on it, no logo or anything. It's just a brushed finish stainless barrel that chills on top. And the O-rings, you have two choices of O-rings when you get this guy. You have super loose and too tight. And I actually enjoy these too tight ones for the bottom deck, because it is a bitch to get the barrel on, but the piece on top that you're actually going to be taking off and dripping through, that one's fine. That O-ring's fine. This one just needs to find its spot usually, and it's a little bit difficult to get it on there straight. It's just machined so perfectly that it doesn't like to go together. There we go. I think we got it now. Yeah, this thing doesn't like doing that, but hey, it's not going to leak. I'll tell you that right now. Because you did that, it's not going to leak. And it doesn't leak out of the bottom here, really. Just this thing doesn't leak that much. I mean, I get a couple bit of leaking when I put the cap back on, and I get little dribbles up here. That's about it. But this is where the magic happens on this thing. So it's got a little conical design up here, and it's got these 3 airflow slots that come through the side here, and then they go down to this part, and you can see the little compartment here, and it's got the little slit and 3, and there's an O-ring in the middle, because that's where this little piece comes in. And this one is the part you can come out and you can clean this whole thing out when you're switching juices if you do want to. And it has different options in there. You have the 2 right here for dual coil and 1 for single coil. And since they're so close together, you're kind of full open on the single coil. You can adjust 1, you can have 2 holes or 3 holes, and that's it. That's your adjustability. And the same goes for the dual coil. You can have 2 holes on each side, or you can have 3 holes on each side. There's no other adjustability really with it. So, and maybe I'll be able to show you that. It's going to be a little difficult. You can do that, and then that side's closed off, but this side is opening through the other side. So it's kind of fine because I like it wide open, but the adjustability isn't really there where it could be. And this guy just snaps on, getting it right up to the coils. I just got a simple 0.25 ohm coil, just a little dual 24 gauge 6 wrap in there, and yeah, you just slip on whatever drip tip you feel like. I like this Copa tip from Trinity Glass? Yeah, Trinity Glass, and he made cardo tanks before. Now he's making some sick ass drip tips and chuff caps and, you know, full on caps for your whole device, and it's cool. I like this one, and actually I like the router tip on it. It looks really cool too. You can put whatever tip you want because it's just got a 510 connection up top here. And it doesn't come with a drip tip. So yeah, you kind of need to buy a drip tip or use one you already got. It doesn't come with one. So that's one thing. Before we get this guy going and go back up to the original screen, I do want to take this part off because you do have the option of having it like that with the whole dealio. This is AEOLUS and all that. Yeah, whatever. You can take this off and you can put it on anything, and you can have heatsink fins on anything you want. You may think, oh, that's cool for aesthetic reasons. Yeah, that is kind of cool. But the pin right here is just floating. As you can see, I just pushed it all the way in. So with all the crap that's been going on with people putting sub-tanks on their hybrid mods, which freaking don't do it, just don't, I'm going to show you a little something you can do here to be a little safer than you already are being. So let's say you got your Arctic tank here and it's flush, right? It's for the most part flush on that that part right there. You could technically put it on a hybrid because it sticks out maybe like a 1/4 millimeter further than the rest, but that could get pushed up easily. But if you notice something when I put this on it, it actually causes that pin to move out, and I can use it on a hybrid mod. I'm really bad with camera angles, so you can kind of see, oh god, I'm so bad. Yeah, you can kind of see it sticks out further now. Yeah, you can kind of see that, right? So now I could stick this on a hybrid mod and feel a lot safer about myself. and that's just one cool thing I wanted to put out, is this pin makes your pins longer. So that is a really, really rad option. I'm going to put it back on my AEOLUS, and we're going to rock it this way. And if you're wondering if this like causes voltage drop or something, it maybe does, just ever so slightly, because the pin is longer. But it's really, I haven't noticed at all, especially when I'm putting it on a regulated device. You're not going to notice whatsoever. So this guy just screws on. Firing up. She's ready to go. Now, I didn't take out the cotton, but the juice well really is nothing exciting. It's kind of a normal 3-post dripper with a normal sized juice well. There's nothing crazy about it, but since it doesn't have airflow on the bottom or on the sides, you can drip for like a lot of juice, like a good amount of juice. You can drip a good amount and it won't leak. It might spit up a little bit at you, but that's about it. And yeah, it just works great. Oh man, I'm just in love with the flavor on this thing and the amount of vapor it still produces while having that good flavor. So let's go out the original screen and let's vape this bad boy. All right, so that was a close look at the AEOLUS RDA from Synthetic Cloud, and I've never heard of that company until now, and I'm glad I have now, because this RDA is pretty freaking sweet. I actually really enjoy this RDA. Just, it's so good. It's like, the flavor is so awesome, and the airflow is what a dripper should be. It gives you about the same airflow as like the Tugboat and like the Kennedy normal, not the comp cap, just the 2-hole one. It's a little bit tighter than that, a little bit, but it's about the same. Like let's compare it to the Arctic, a little more open. So it's right about where a dripper should be, right about where a dripper should be. Except with the freaking airflow coming from the top, it's like it condenses the vapor before it goes into your mouth hole. It's just so freaking good. I need to drip a little bit, but man, this dripper, minus the only con I can think of with this guy is that the barrel either goes on super loose with the stock O-rings, the blue stock O-rings it comes with, or these black O-rings that you can put on that are thicker and it's a little too thick. So maybe you can find a sweet spot with one blue one and one black one, and it'll fit a little better. But that's one con, is that the barrel is kind of a bitch to get back on for when you rebuild, changing your cotton and stuff, and then you put the barrel back on, it's kind of like, and it has to snap in just perfect. And you really don't, because once one O-ring's on there, it's good, but if you want it to look all flush and good, you gotta snap it all the way through, and that can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. The other thing is when just like any other dripper with like a tobe or anything, when it has this 3-piece design that you take off this part and you put it back on, it tends to splash up a little bit of juice, and you kind of just gotta do a little wipe through, on your finger. Drippers, you're gonna be in contact with juice with drippers. That's just how they are, and that's just it. If you don't want to be in contact with a lot of juice, there are a lot of good tanks out there for you. But for drippers, there's gonna be liquid in your life. Not more liquid than vapor. There's going to be plenty more vapor than liquid that you're going to get, but there's going to be liquid now in your life once you have a dripper. You're just going to have to live with it, having juice on your hands, washing your hands. Maybe it's good. Maybe you'll wash your hands more often than you already do, mister. I'm looking at you. You who don't wash your hands that often. You got to start washing your hands, because now you got juice on your hands, Someone out there's like, oh, shit. No. This thing, vape's great. I like it, and really the only con is the barrel goes on a little tight, or it goes on a little too loose with the 2 O-rings you get. It gets a little bit of splashy liquid when you snap on the top cap again a little bit, and the adjustability on the adjustable airflow is a single coil or dual coil. There's 2 holes or 3 holes. There's no 1-hole option or half a hole. You don't have complete adjustable airflow. You have kind of adjustable airflow, but I don't know how they could have made that design for how small this little ring is up here. This little ring up here. I think that's really all they could do. So yeah, and the only thing I could see for a comp version is just maybe make the whole thing, just the entire thing, just holes going down, and then just make it like that, instead of having 3 holes here and 3 holes here. Just make it have holes all the way around the top cap. That would be probably the comp style, and you just buy the top piece, and it's like, oh, now I'm all competition. I got airflow everywhere. The only other thing, which I didn't really go through up close, is it does have flatheads up there. So if you're not a fan of flatheads, that's it. You got to use flatheads for this. They're not like the flatheads for the Mephisto or the Doge V2, where they're just gigantic, chunky things that are annoying as hell to work with. But they're still flatheads, and your screwdriver can still slip off. I've had that happen because it's a flathead. And I would have enjoyed Phillips heads a little bit more. Anything with a Phillips head I enjoy on a build deck. Anything with a freaking Allen key or flathead, I just kind of don't like that. But I deal with that with this one, and they're not huge. They're not gigantic, but they're still chunky enough to work with good thick wire. The holes, the post holes, are actually a pretty good size. I can fit 22, no problem. I'm pretty sure I could fit fatter than that because the 22 goes in like nothing. And they're not like such huge holes like the Doge V2 or the Mephisto. I'm saying that because they have the same posts. Let's be real here, they have the same posts. It's not like those where you could fit like, you know, that fat a wire through and it'll still go through like no problem, but it can fit some good builds in it. It's got plenty of post hole room. It's just a 3-post dripper, but the flavor, because of the airflow and design, makes this thing great. Also, you can have a cool little heat sink thing if you want to, or you can take it off and make it look a little flush. And you can put that heat sink on any other RDA you already have, which makes some hobbyists go a little nuts. So, after all that, I highly recommend this guy if you want to get a dripper. Also, one more point. This thing's only like 75 or 85 bucks. It's only 75 or 85 bucks, dude. It's actually kind of a good deal. It's authentic, made in the US, stainless steel. There's no weird China stuff going on, and it's still kind of not super expensive, but not super cheap. It's right in that middle road of 60 to 90 bucks, where it's just like, okay, I can spend that. I could spend 75 bucks on that. That's a good price. It's just an all-around great Addy. I just like it, and the pin sticks out, so you can use it on your hybrid mods, and I feel as safe as I could about you using a hybrid mod, about anyone using a hybrid mod. It's safe for that. I'm not going to say that, oh yeah, it's definitely safe. There's nothing ever that could go wrong, because there's things that the pin could go up and the post could get all melted with the insulator. It's a whole thing that you just don't want to deal with hybrids. Just, if you want a hybrid, literally, it's just get a regulated high wattage box mod, because it's going to be a lot safer, and you're not going to have any hide shortage issues, because these have short circuit protection. I don't know why people aren't using these. I get the size thing, but then go for a freaking IPV Mini 2, go for an SX Mini, go for whatever, anything. Just get regulated. Seriously, I think regulated is better. Plus, your batteries don't drop off. Just wanted to say that. Now that I'm completely off subject, I like the AEOLUS. Do you like the AEOLUS? Let me know. If you already have one and you love it, just let me know. Just let me know a little bit. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Let's keep on vaping on. Later, guys.